There are some football teams you wait for, not just for 90 minutes, but for days and nights, hoping to once again witness the magic that only they can produce. And Brazil is one of those teams. When Brazil begins to rediscover its true identity, football itself feels beautiful again. When a match becomes a canvas of rhythm, technique, and fearless creativity, only then do fans around the world say with relief, finally, Brazil is playing like Brazil again. And in this match against Senegal, Brazil delivered two different versions of themselves within the same game. Two contrasting approaches, two contrasting rhythms. Almost as if the team wanted to show the world both sides of their transformation under Carlo Ancelotti, today's analysis focuses exactly on that. What did Brazil show? Why do they look so different in each half? And what does this mean for their future? Let's break it down. If you watched the first half closely, you saw something that Brazil fans have been craving for years, pressing football. Not just random pressing, but a structured, hungry, and collective press that looked rehearsed and purposeful. As long as Brazil had the ball, they wanted to dictate the tempo. And the moment the ball left their feet, they pressed aggressively to win it back. This wasn't accidental. This wasn't occasional. This was a clear, tactical message. Ask yourself, when was the last time you saw Brazil press with this level of intensity? Since Carlo Ancelotti took charge, Brazil hasn't magically turned into an unbeatable super team, but they are slowly building the foundation of a system. And in the first half, that system was visible, clear, organized, and convincing. Senegal tried to play out from the back, but Brazil's coordinated press forced mistake after mistake. It was as if Brazil were saying, if you choose to defend deep, we will hunt you down. And leading that hunting pack was a teenager, Estêvão. How do you describe this young talent? At an age when most players are still learning the basics of rhythm and decision-making, Estêvão played with maturity far beyond his years. He pressed with intelligence. He carried the ball with confidence. He made off-the-ball runs like someone who has spent a decade in professional football. When Brazil were in possession, he opened himself up, demanded the ball, and played with calmness. When Brazil lost possession, he was the first to sprint and press with urgency. You rarely see such courage and discipline in a player this young. And then came his goal, shattering Senegal's defensive wall and giving Brazil early control. That goal changed everything. It forced Senegal to rethink their approach. They realized quickly that pressing Brazil recklessly or leaving space in behind could be suicidal. But even before Senegal could reorganize, Casemiro stepped up and buried another goal, tightening Brazil's grip on the match. This Brazilian attack had everything the fans love. Matheus Cunha's strike hitting the post. Vinícius Júnior's relentless runs. Rodrygo switching positions with Vini, creating chaos. Fast transitions, clever overlaps, and constant movement. Every attack looked dangerous. Every combination felt purposeful. This was not individual brilliance. This was a coordinated plan. The chemistry between Vini and Rodrygo, in particular, was one of the highlights. Both players interchanged roles constantly. Sometimes Vini staying wide while Rodrygo cut inside, and sometimes the opposite. Their understanding made Brazil unpredictable and dynamic. And as long as the first half continued, Brazil looked like a team in complete control. Pressing high, playing with confidence, and suffocating Senegal's build-up. Fire second half. A completely different Brazil. And then the second half arrived. Suddenly, the intensity dropped. The press weakened. Brazil started sitting deeper. They allowed Senegal more time on the ball that if you only watch the second half, you might ask, where did the first half Brazil go? But this change was not a mistake. It was a tactical decision. Brazil shifted from high-intensity pressing to a more controlled, defensive structure. They were no longer chasing more goals. They were protecting the goals they already scored. They were prioritizing defensive stability over attacking risk. And this is where the dual identity of the match becomes so important. In the first half, Brazil played like a team that wanted to show their readiness to dominate. In the second half, they played like a team that wanted to show they can defend intelligently when needed. Both versions were necessary. Both versions were valuable. Both versions showed growth. For years, Brazil have struggled in one area more than anything else, conceding goals under pressure. Teams pressing them often expose Brazil's defensive weaknesses. But in this match, the second half Brazil showed that they can adapt, they can sit back, and they can defend without panicking. This flexibility is something Ancelotti has been trying to install from the beginning. But not everything was perfect. Ederson's mistake stood out, and not in a good way. It was a shocking lapse of concentration, the kind of error you simply cannot afford against top opponents. When playing against strong teams at major tournaments, mistakes like that can cost you everything. Fans expect consistency and composure from Ederson, especially given his experience. And this error will remain a talking point. However, it would be completely unfair to say Senegal are a small or easy opponent. That would be disrespectful and inaccurate. Senegal, with their physicality, discipline, and talent, are one of Africa's strongest sides. Any team taking them lightly would be making a huge mistake. Despite playing well, Brazil are still not in a position where we can confidently say they're ready to dominate the World Cup. They are still rebuilding. They are still learning. They are still forming an identity. This match, especially the difference between both halves, shows us exactly where they are. A team capable of breathtaking, attacking football. A team learning to defend with discipline. A team still ironing out mistakes. A team improving step by step. The first half was Brazil at their best. The second half was Brazil learning to manage the game. Both are essential if they want to compete at the highest level. Football is a game of phases. You cannot press for 90 minutes. You cannot attack endlessly. You must know when to push, when to defend, and when to maintain control. Brazil understood this, that in the first half, they pressed. In the second half, they protected. They scored early. They managed the match. They avoided unnecessary risks. This is exactly the type of maturity Brazil have been missing for years. And, under Carlo Ancelotti, this balance is slowly returning. Gabriel Magalhães' injury will be something to monitor closely. He has become an important figure in Brazil's defensive structure, and losing him for a long period could be worrying. As soon as official updates arrive, we will share them immediately. This match was not about one player. It was about the team, from defense to attack. Bruno Guimarães controlled the midfield. Casemiro showed leadership. Cunha created danger constantly. Estêvão delivered brilliance beyond his age. Vini and Rodrygo displayed elite chemistry.